And if you don't already have this bookmarked, it's a great idea to do that because you'll use this a lot. Agent.kw.com is where you go. You'll log in with your My KW credentials. And just to cover a little bit what we're going to talk about today, we're doing landing pages. I'm going to show you how to make 3 different types of landing pages. First, we'll do a neighborhood landing page, which is a page that your clients will be able to search for homes in the neighborhoods that they're interested in. A listing landing page where you can promote your listings without sending all your leads to Redfin or Zillow. And a mobile app landing page where you can promote your mobile app. So we're going to get signed in. And then first things first, if you guys have been to mini command classes, then we always kind of start the same way. I'm going to go to my name up here at the top right corner and go to settings. And it's being slow. Okay, now that we're in settings, I'm gonna go to connect settings and marketing profile. It's really important that you always keep this marketing profile up to date before you really take on any new command endeavor, because everything from this profile will actually feed over to the stuff that you build in command. If you haven't started on this and you're doing it today, make sure that everything with a red asterisk, or if it says that it's required, that you fill that in, because you won't be able to save it until those things are all complete. A couple things to note: your profile picture does need to be a square image. It recommends 360 pixels by 360 pixels, but it doesn't actually need to really be that size. It could be any size as long as it's square. Hi, Alita. And your marketing logo, it also recommends that it needs to be 360 by 360, but this one actually does not need to be square. It'll pretty much just format anyway. Hi, Patricia. All right, so if you are at totally square one with this and you haven't filled out anything on this page, you can go to scottleroymarketing.com/command. I'll show you what that looks like. Oops, what did I spell wrong? scottleroymarketing.com/command. Scott Leroy Market. Let's try marketing. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat as well. So if you put your market center number, ours is 1081. It'll take you to this right here where you can get your profile up to 100% by just filling out this, and then Scott Leroy Marketing will do it for you. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so assuming that you have all of this stuff filled out, let's go ahead and get started on our landing pages. So you definitely want to familiarize yourself with this left-hand column over here. If you float over each icon, it will show you what they all are, but a little tip I like to do is just click this red KW while you're still familiarizing yourself with it. And right now, we're going to start with our contacts. So it's a great idea when you're playing around in command to go ahead and have a test contact. This is going to be useful in multiple occasions whenever you're trying something new and you want to be able to practice it on yourself first before you send it out to a client. So if you don't already have a test client, you'll make one by clicking this Add Contact button. And then all you really need is just a name and an email. I recommend using your personal email address, because then whatever you send to your test contact, you'll actually be able to come and look at later when you look at your email. So that person might be your name. And then, like I said, you'll put that, that personal email address. So I actually already have a test contact for myself, so I'm not gonna do that. But once you type that piece of information in, then you'll just click create. So now once you've created that contact, my test contact here is Betty Boop. You may need to search if you already have a lot of contacts in here. So I just typed Betty, and then I'm gonna click this contact. So I'm gonna close out of these, 'cause this is what we're gonna work on today. So now that you're in this contact, you've got this option right here to add neighborhoods. So I'm gonna click add neighborhood. And there are, it might be a little creepy, but you do want to allow it to see your location. It's going to help a lot as you're searching for neighborhoods to narrow it down to neighborhoods that are in the Seattle area. So there's 3 ways that you can add neighborhoods to your contact. You can either type the neighborhood in the search bar. So I might put Roosevelt. There we go. Another way is to use these suggested neighborhoods down here. So I'm going to add Ravenna 65th. And the third way is to find it on a map. So I'm going to click Find on Map. And I can see that I'm right here in this like blue dot, but instead of zooming, let's go ahead and just type Seattle. Or actually, let's type Roosevelt again. All right. So that'll bring me a little bit closer so I don't have to just keep zooming. The map feature is actually really helpful, especially if you are typing a neighborhood, but you can't quite seem to find it. It might be a good idea to use the map to get that specific neighborhood that you're looking for. And I'm going to add Roosevelt and Green Lake. All right, so now I'm going to save. So what I've done by selecting those neighborhoods is I've already created a neighborhood landing page. It was literally that easy. I can preview the page by clicking this little eyeball icon right here. And now you can see that there's a few things they can do from here. It's got my Market Center logo, the Ben Kinney logo. It's got the neighborhoods that I selected for them, but one thing I think is really cool is they can also add a neighborhood. So if you had no idea that they were also looking at not just the Green Lake Roosevelt area, but they might also be looking in Ballard, they could actually add that. Here it shows some houses that are available in those neighborhoods. They can also filter those houses. They can draw on the map kind of similar to the way that you draw in the MLS, which is pretty cool. And you've got this lead capture form right here. So if they find something that they like, they can reach out to you directly through this page. You can also click neighborhood stats over here. And it gives you stats on all these different neighborhoods that you selected. So I can see in Roosevelt, there is no homes for sale, 1 pending, average home price 800,000. Let's look at Ravenna 65th. There are 2 homes for sale, 1 pending, average home price is $1 million. You can explore the neighborhood, so check out your current stats, transit and commute. So if they want to put in where they work, so there's the Keller Williams North Seattle office. It's a 7-minute commute. You can check out nearby schools. And then I really like this feature too, places. It shows you some cool places in the area as well as reviews. And this is all pulled directly from Yelp. So pretty cool stuff. So now what do you do with this page? So let's close out of this. And you can take this link right here, copy link, and you can either send this in an email to your clients. So say like, hi Ahmed, I loved that conversation we had, so glad to talk to you. I made this page for you to check out some local listings in your neighborhood. Feel free to search around and let me know if you have any questions. Copy, paste the link, send it out in an email. Another option is to post it on your social media pages like, hey, are you interested in any of these really cool neighborhoods? Check out this page that I made that shows you some market stats. So those are some great options for those neighborhood landing pages. Does anyone have any questions about those? All right, so let's move on to my favorite, which is the listing landing page.
Wait, Kara, I think we did have a question.
Sure.
Rhonda, did you have a question?
You know, I came on late, so it looks like what we're doing here is we're putting together neighborhoods that the potential client would like to go look at. Is that fair? Is that what we're doing?
That is correct. And Rhonda, we're also going to post the recording of this class on Facebook too. So if you want to tune in and watch the beginning, I don't think you missed too much, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
we're covering neighborhood landing pages where your clients can search for homes in the neighborhoods that they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cover listing landing pages so you can promote your listings without sending your leads to Redfin and Zillow. And then if there's time, I'm going to cover like a page to promote your KW mobile app too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, I do have a question.
Sure.
So in terms of like best practices for the neighborhood landing pages, would you advise agents to do one for the area that they most closely work in, as well as ones for specific clients, which may not be the same?
I would probably have that conversation with your client and try to see what neighborhoods are they interested in looking at, because if it's if it's something close to where they work, then that's what you're going to want to send them neighborhoods for. But if it's all over, then you can send them a bunch, but just know they'll have to kind of scroll through each one. So I'll go back to this page where you can preview, which is where I think the draw tool is really great, because having to scroll through each one of these, I've seen them where it's like multiple. I mean, I've added like 50 neighborhoods for myself before. You can add as many as you'd like, but it does get a little tedious to have to click through each one. But when you draw, you can include many neighborhoods in drawing.
So can you make separate landing pages and send them to like separate clients?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually each landing page is made for a client. So if you're making one to share on social media that doesn't have a client attached to it, that would be a good reason to use one of the test contact, for example. But if you have 100 clients in your database and you want to send each of them their own personalized neighborhood landing page, then you can certainly do that. And there is a way to automate this as well, where you can send them emails every month or every 2 weeks, and that would be in Smart Plans, and we will cover that in a different class, but just know that this is something that can be automated too.
Okay, so basically bottom line, neighborhood landing pages are primarily for clients.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're going to get to this perhaps, would you ever use a neighborhood landing page just for yourself to say this is the area that I cover the most type thing?
Sure. I mean, if you want to stay up to date on those market stats that I just was showing, you could certainly reference that yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, for example, I might go to Ravenna 65th and then click neighborhood stats. And then I would be armed if I know I have a client that's looking for a house in Ravenna 65th neighborhood. I might say, oh, well, my recent stats that I just pulled said the average days on market is about 32. The average, this is for Green Lake. Let's see, Ravenna 65th. The average day on market is 24 days. There's not a lot that's currently listed in that neighborhood. These are very, very small neighborhoods. I want to point that out as well. All of this neighborhood data comes from Nextdoor. So whatever Nextdoor considers each neighborhood and the name that it considers for each neighborhood is what it's going to go by on here. But they're pretty small, so that's why it's often helpful to include multiple neighborhoods. But you would just know for that area, there's 2 homes for sale, 1 pending, average home price is $1 million. That's the price per square foot and days on market. And it might give you some familiar stats as well in terms of the schools in the area or like the places that are close by. If you know that your clients are looking for a coffee shop or you want to find a coffee shop to meet them at before you go searching for houses in this area, this could be a great place for you to pull that data. All right, so now we're going to move on to landing pages. But before we do that, I am first going to show you 422. I'm going to show you what this looks like if you post a link to your listing from Redfin. So let's just say that this is your listing and you want to share this with your social media following. So you take this Redfin link, because honestly, Redfin's a great platform. It's great for showing pictures of houses and stats on houses and all that kind of stuff. However, a major drawback from sharing Redfin is that there are a million opportunities for your potential clients to get connected with a Redfin agent. I can tell you right now, ask a question. This is not the listing agent's phone number. This is the Redfin agent's phone number. If you want to tour it in person or tour via video chat, this is going to connect you straight to a Redfin agent. This button right here, live chat, again, it connects you straight to a Redfin agent. All of these options on here, like I said, it's a great platform, but if you share this on social media and your friend shares that or something like that, it's so possible that you're just going to lose any potential leads you would have gotten from this. So don't do it, and let's make something better instead, and something that's going to be free for you to do as well. So I'm going to close out of here, and then going to go to this red KW, and now we're going to click consumer. So now that you're in here, let's create a new site, which is what we want to do. You do have the option to create something, a page to add to your agent site. We covered this when I did the agent sites class a couple weeks back, and we'll do that class again. But for today, we're going to cover just doing a standalone page. So let's create that page. It's super important to name your pages, because otherwise you wind up with a bunch of unnamed pages or pages that are named kind of random things, and it's very difficult to figure out which is which. So I'm just going to call this Canvas back listing. All right, so now that I've done that, I personally like to start with a branded header. I think it kind of brings everything together, makes it look really personalized to you, reminds people that it's your page, which is great. Obviously you don't have to use that. Then we're going to do the listing thing. So everything over here, I got a little bit ahead of myself. These are called widgets. You can customize things a little bit more yourself by using these content blocks and layout blocks. I'm not messing with any of that stuff today. Honestly, I've had really great luck building a lot of pages just using these widgets. Keller Williams International is constantly adding new widgets, so you can create new things on different landing pages on your site. So it's a great thing to keep an eye out for as well. But for now, all you really need to do is just drag it over. You may notice once it comes over that, oh, that wasn't actually what I meant to do. You can click one of these widgets, and then there's a little trash can right here, and you can throw it away. I think that, so another thing, let's say I put my agent branding right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's way too big. So I'm just going to click that and throw it away. If you find that you put something in the wrong order, I think that instead of clicking it and dragging it to the right place, it's better to just delete it and then add another one. So back to this branded header, you see that this green bar is showing up right here. I'm gonna drop it, and then it's gonna fill in right here. So, and this headshot of me came from that marketing profile that I filled out first. So had I not filled out my marketing profile, this logo wouldn't be here, my headshot wouldn't be here. I would have had to insert all of these manually. So that's why it's so great to have that marketing profile filled out first. So this is where our listing is going to go. I'm gonna close out of that. I'd like to also include this little market snap too. So I'm gonna drop that at the bottom. And you know what, before we get into the market snap, let's do this video too. So one of the things I think is really useful for these listing landing pages is to basically use them as virtual flyers. I spoke to my office about this in our last team meeting, where you can, instead of having a flyer box at your listing where you have to make sure that it's stocked with papers, you got to buy the flyer box, you have to pay for all the printing, make sure it stays full. You're not getting those calls that are saying, hey, your flyer box empty and we really want to know how much this house is listed for. Now you can actually take this page that you make and then link it to either a QR code that you can add to a sign writer where someone can scan it with their phone and it can take you to this site, or you can get a custom domain from GoDaddy.com for 99 cents for a year. Hopefully you don't have this listing for longer than a year, so then it only costs you 99 cents, which is great. Scott Leroy Marketing, if you email support@Scott Leroy Marketing with the domain that you purchased and you said, I would like to get this site or that domain name forwarded to this site, they can do that for you for free as well. So just something to keep in mind as we're making this, that videos are especially important nowadays when it's so hard to get into, or not so hard, but it's much harder now to get into a house to view it, that being able to have a video on your virtual flyer or on your listing site is such a great thing to be able to include too. So, okay, so now that we have all of these stats here, let's go ahead and add a lead form at the bottom, because you definitely want people to reach out to you if they want to know more about the house. So now that those are all here, we are going to configure the widgets. So first things first, we've got our branded header. So there's a couple things that I've learned recently about this branded header. I used to always include something. It would either have the property address, or like for this one, I might say Simiamu luxury property, which is the property we're gonna talk about in here in a minute. But I have since learned when you're pulling this up on a mobile app, so this is particularly important if you're gonna be sharing this on your for sale sign, because someone's probably gonna be pulling it up on their phone. Having a header here sometimes gets a little jumbled and it overlaps itself and there's just not enough room on a cell phone, but it does require something. So what I've been doing now is I just put a space in this box and that will leave this blank, but it still has your logos and your picture. And then you can just continue on from there. Okay. And I think that's something that Keller Williams will probably correct at some point, but in the meantime, for now, I'm just putting a space there. So then the next widget is our listing widget. So I wanted to pull a property that does have a video. So I chose one that's from my office. It is 515-87699. And just know that in order to get access to all of this stuff in Command, you do need to add your listings to the KWLS. So you should be doing that anyway. It pushes your listing to over 300 different sites across the internet. So it's definitely going to get more eyeballs on your listing, which is what you want. But it also makes marketing through Command so much easier as well, because everything is going to be in Command now in the KWLS. So here's my listing that I want to feature. I'm going to click select. Now, it will pull all this information from the MLS, which is amazing. I can't understand why you would need to do this, but it does give you the option to add a custom image if you'd rather pull an image from your computer. But I like this picture that came from the listing. I'm going to go ahead and click save and apply. And as you save and apply these changes, you'll actually be able to see them change on the site here as well. So it's just taking a moment. All right, look at that gorgeous house. It's got the address, it has the price, it shows the status on the MLS. So once it's pending, it will change to pending. Once it's sold, it will change to sold. It shows the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, the year it was built, all this verbiage about the property, as well as these pictures that you can scroll through, which is really great. Some more details and features. It shows it on a map over here. And that's it. So let's go to the next widget. So the next one is our video. So what I'm going to do is go to YouTube. And I'm going to search. So something you should note too, you can actually upload a video. I personally prefer to use YouTube because video files are so large that sometimes it can take a really long time for it to upload, but if it's already on YouTube, which is a much more established site, it tends to go a little bit more smoothly. So keep that in mind. Let me get that address again, 5422 All right, so now here is that video. I'm going to click, I'll pause that. I'm going to click share and then copy the link to this video and then go back to command and enter my video URL. So for the headline, I'm gonna say, take a tour. Maybe a virtual tour. There we go. And then you have the option to put a description here as well. I'm gonna leave this blank for now. And then let's hit save and apply. All right, so we're scrolling down. Take a virtual tour. Look at that video. And I'll just put a space here just in case that's gonna be messed up. All right, and now we're gonna go to the next one. So this is a little opportunity for you to talk about the market in here. If you don't change it, it will just populate to Barton Hills, which I believe is where the KW Realty International location is. Do I have a, don't actually know what the zip code is for this property. 98230. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in here, 98230. For the header text, I am actually gonna leave that blank. And for neighborhood, let's go ahead and click save and apply. And what that will do it's gonna narrow down these neighborhoods closer to this 98230 location. All right, so I am not actually super familiar with this area, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is in Semiahmoo Parkway, and then save and apply. So now let's scroll down and take a look at what that did for us. There's our video. And then says Semiahmoo Parkway neighborhood trends. It's got 18 active listings, 9 pendings, 136 average days on market, average listing prices, things like that. So if you feel like these stats don't really do your property any favors, maybe it's a good idea to take this off. But if you feel like it shows how your property is really competitively priced, it's a great idea to leave it on. Now for the last thing, we've got our lead capture form right here. So instead of interested, let's talk. I mean, you could definitely leave it as interested, let's talk. But maybe instead we'll say, schedule a showing, and then save and apply. So now what we're going to do is publish this page once everything has been saved and applied. It does take a minute to configure. All right, and now it asks, would I like to make this would I like to publish this landing page and make it visible to others? Yes, of course. So here you've got a couple options. So as I mentioned before about buying a domain from GoDaddy.com, you can customize this domain a little bit. So if I go to change URL, I've got basically just this back half right here that I can edit. So it's not great. We'll just call it canvas back. It's still a very long and wordy URL. I would say this is fine for sharing in an email or sharing on social media even. But if you're trying to brand yourself in a way. If you want this to be on your sign, published outside, if you want to get it printed somewhere, I would definitely get a shorter URL. And maybe that would be the property address, or maybe it would be like Semiahmoo Luxury, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So, but this is the site that you would want to get that purchased URL forwarded to. And then same thing, if I wanted to create a QR code, I would just go to like free QR code generator. You might have to play around with a few of these sites to see which one works the best for you. I just used, I believe it was this one. I can just put my URL right here and then click create QR code. And now I can download this QR code. If you guys were to take your, let's see, if you guys were to take your cell phones right now and scan, oh my gosh, so many things open on my computer. If you were to take your cell phones right now and scan this QR code that's on my page, all you would do is open your camera and then hover over that square. A thing will pop up that tells you if you want to ask you if you want to open it in Safari. And now you can see what that looks like on your mobile phone and how the QR code works. Does anyone have any questions about that? All right. Well, we are just cruising right along, a little faster than I expected. So let's go ahead and go on to making that promote your KW app page as well. So I'm going to say we're going to make this as a standalone page today. I think that there's a lot of reasons why maybe you would want to add this to your agent site instead. If you have it added to your agent site, it will still have its own link that you can send to people if you want them to download your app. But then they also have the option to click the menu button and kind of go through everything else to see, you know, what kind of testimonials do you have on your site, and learn a little bit about you or about Keller Williams. So doing a page like this and connecting it to your agent site does have a lot of benefits, but for the sake of today's class being solely about landing pages, I'm going to show you how to make a page all on its own, your very own website, specifically for promoting your KW app. So if we were going to add it to our site, we would use this on my site button, but we're going to do a standalone page today. We're going to click create page. Don't forget, we always want to title our pages. So I'm going to call this download my mobile app. And nobody sees that but you, so just something to keep in mind too. You don't have to put too much thought into what you call each page. Now, you guys might already know, but I'm going to first go with branded header. Like I said before, I love to always start with that. I think it gives it a great, clean look. And I'm going to add, where is it? Oh, there it goes. Download my app. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I was wondering for a moment where that widget was to download my app. All I did was I just scrolled up. So some of them are hidden. It doesn't really look, on my computer at least, like there's a scroll bar. So just know that you can scroll. So now that you've done that, let's see if there's anything else you'd want to do. Maybe a lead capture form. We'll drop that down at the bottom. And I think that's probably good. So now we're going to configure those widgets. So for the branded header, again, you might have some problems. I would test this out on your mobile phone if you want to add a header on here, and just make sure that it works before you start sending it out to your clients. But I might say browse homes from your couch. And I'm going to click save and apply. And it does give you the option here to view what that would look like from a cell phone, from a tablet, and from a computer. I'm just saying from my personal experience, I have noticed some problems with having a header there in a mobile phone, but here it actually looks like they take the header away for a mobile view. So something you should test out on your own, like I said, before you send it out to people. Because you can't always leave this blank, just put a space. So then I'm gonna go to the next one. And it says download the KW app. Instead of the, let's make sure people know that it's my KW app. A little subtext, get free access to local homes from any mobile device. The Keller Williams Realty Real Estate, I'm gonna take realty out of here. The Keller Williams Real Estate Search is available on Android, iPhone, and iPad and gives you access to more than 4 million homes. All right, now for here, it says download, let's say my app. And then here is the link to my app. I can't actually edit this. This came over again from the marketing profile. It should automatically be filled in for you. And if not, then perhaps you need to set up your app, which is what we will cover next Thursday, next week. And then you'll definitely want to be promoting your app. So we're going to save that and apply. And then the very last widget on this page is the interested, let's talk, the lead capture form. So I don't love interested, let's talk when you're talking about downloading my app. So instead, I'm gonna type find a home you like. Let's chat, something like that. And then save and apply. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to, oh wait, actually let's add one more thing. I'm gonna go back to, let's see. Well, let's go ahead and publish the page. And here's what I'll show you. So I said yes, I went ahead and published it. But maybe I decided that after I published it, I actually wanted to add another widget to the page. So by clicking these three little dots right here, I can click edit. And then I can actually go back and edit any of the things that I changed. So for example, if you decided that, you put a, you put something right here, browse homes from your couch, you pulled it up on your phone and you didn't really love the way it looked, instead of creating a whole new page, you can just go back and edit it. We'll click, well, before we do that, let's go to video, because that's actually really what I want to do. So right under here, but before the lead capture, I'm going to throw a video in here. I don't see the green line. Oh, there it was. Green line, okay. So now we'll configure those widgets. Maybe I decide now I want to take browse home from your couch out. I'll just put a space there instead. We'll save and apply. Then I will go to the video. Now, one of the great things about Keller Williams is that we constantly have these really fun kind of commercially promotional videos that we put out all the time, and you're welcome to use those for any and all of your marketing. So I'm going to type KW mobile app. And looks like this one was posted 5 months ago. It's got 4,000 views. Looks pretty cool and flashy. We're not going to watch this video because I feel like videos don't always show really well on Zoom, but you should probably watch it later if you haven't, because it's pretty cool. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to enter that video URL. Now for the headline, I might say, finally get my browse homes from your couch in there, and then save and apply. So now I'm going to click publish that page again. Yes, I do want to make it visible. It doesn't create a new page. Like I said, we're just editing that old page, but it does still ask you that question. So this is what my link looks like. So let's edit that URL, because why not? We'll call it My KW App. Awesome. I feel like the shorter they are, the better. It's already long enough. So now we've got this. I'm going to copy it and let's put it in here. Let's see what it looks like. So as you can see, it's got that branded header, branded to me. It's got my phone number, my email. Download My KW App, gives them a button they can download the app with. We've got this cool video on here. And, how's that? And I need to take this out, see where it says, this is a description of your video. I'll need to put a space there instead. Find a home you like, let's chat. And they have the option to include their information. So now that I see that this description was here, good thing I checked it before I sent it out to my clients. I'm gonna go back to edit. And then configure widgets. Go to the video, and then for this description, I'm just going to press the space bar and then save and apply. All right, there we go. So now we have a little bit of extra time. Let's copy this again. Does anyone have any questions on this mobile app page or anything that I've covered so far? Ta-da, look, that annoying line is gone. We fixed it.
Hey, Kara.
Yeah.
For the video, did you just pull something that was just on YouTube and nothing that, did you make that video or?
Nope, so Keller Williams International creates a bunch of cool promotional videos. If you want to check those out,
Mm-hmm.
you go to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and then I typed KW mobile app.
Okay.
But then once you're here, you can actually see that Keller Williams Realty has its own face or its own YouTube page.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at this, go to videos,
Mhm.
and then maybe just like check out some of these videos that they've got on here.
Okay.
You know, you might find something else that's kind of cool and promotionally, like Keller Williams is #1. Brag about ourselves a little bit. Add that to your page.
Keller Williams.
Yeah, so you're welcome to use anything that Keller Williams Realty posts on
Okay.
YouTube. Of
Great. Thank you.
course.
Hi, Kara, it's Javier. Got a question. Sorry, joined late, but on
worries.
the app, is it downloaded from the website or is that on the Apple Store or any of those sites?
It takes you to the Apple Store, but yeah, so if you click download my app, since I'm not doing this from a computer, I'm not actually sure how that would work. But yeah, so it'll take you to either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. You can type in your phone number to receive a link to download, but basically this is a unique code specifically for me. It doesn't have my name on it, but this is a code for me. So if someone downloads the KW app using my code, it will automatically make it so that I'm their agent. And we're going to talk more about the KW app next week.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Two questions.
Yeah.
I missed, what did you say? The green line indicates something? What?
Yeah, so when you are dragging these widgets, which is what we call each of these little boxes, when you're dragging them from that right-hand menu onto your site, you'll see a green line that shows you where you're about to drop it. So that way you'll know if you've got some smaller widgets close to each other and you go to drag something, you want to make sure it's in the right order. So you'll watch where that green line falls and then you'll let it go when it falls into the right place. Yeah, of course. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of extra time, I'm going to try to speed through maybe one more thing you might want to do as a standalone page. This is bonus content. I have not practiced this beforehand, so hopefully it works out well. All right, so let's do a review capture page. So this could be a great opportunity if you've got some clients that you've worked with and you want to capture some reviews. Now, I will say, I think it's probably best for you to send your clients to another avenue to either have them give you reviews on Google or Yelp or Realtor.com or Zillow or whatever it is. And then you can always take those reviews and then add them to your Keller Williams site. However, let's say you just are really trying to get some reviews and you feel like this is a quick and easy way to do it. They don't have to already have an account created. They can just, like with Zillow and with Realtor and with Yelp, all those things, they have to already have accounts with those platforms before they can leave you a review. So if you have someone that's maybe not very tech savvy and they don't have accounts on those places and you don't feel like they're going to leave you a review if they're required to have an account somewhere, this could be a good option to send them. So I'm going to put that, whoops, I almost did the wrong thing again. I'm going to bring that branded header over. I love things branded to me. I think it's because I'm one of 5 kids. I always love to have my name on everything. All right, then I'm going to do a testimonial capture form. And another thing I want to point out about the videos too, let's say you're super tech savvy and you're making YouTube videos, or you are making like virtual open houses or virtual home tours, and you're posting those to YouTube. You can also share those videos on your website, which is really cool. It's not something I do. Maybe it's something we should all do because this is the day and age that we live in. But I think that Keller Williams, by having this video form right here, if you just upload any of those videos that you've done on YouTube and then you can share them on any of these pages, it's a great way to let your customers or your potential clients like really get to know who you are. And I think a great example of that would be, have you ever watched a season of a TV show, whatever that TV show is, and by the end of it, you feel so connected to those people on the show, you feel like you're friends with them, you feel like you know them. Your clients are going to feel the same way. When they see videos of you doing tours and talking and just putting yourself out there and letting them get to know you, they're going to feel so much more connected with you and they're going to be more likely to do business with you. So it's a great idea to incorporate videos as often as possible, especially videos of you. But moving back on to the lead capture form, to the review capture form. I think that's all I'm going to put. I don't think we need a video on this page or anything else. We'll keep it short and sweet. And so let's configure those widgets. So obviously we're first going to start with the branded header. And let's say, I don't know, leave me a review. Got my headshot here, my information. Let me click save. Now for this next one, you're definitely going to want to put some more thought into it than I'm putting into it. And it does have a option, like a example here. Thank you for being a valued client. To help me continue to provide the best service that you and so many others have come to trust, we would sincerely appreciate if you could take a few moments to leave us a review. Unfortunately, it won't let you actually pull this verbiage. You have to type it yourself, and I just tried to copy it and it won't let me. So I'm just gonna type something similar but much shorter. So I'm gonna say, thank you for being a valued client. Please help us continue to do business, I don't know, by leaving us a review. And maybe if this is just you, maybe instead of saying us, say me. And then review headline, let's say, how would you rate your, I have such a hard time spelling experience. Oh my gosh, did I get it right? I don't have this red squiggly line. Okay, we're gonna go with it. And then a review placeholder. So this suggests, how was your experience with your agent? How did they help you through each stage of the process? Did they make the buying or selling process clear and straightforward? Anything else you'd like future clients to know? This would be great to copy verbatim, and I'll show you where it will populate once this is configured, but I'm just gonna make this shorter and say, anything you would like potential clients to know. And we're gonna save and apply. Now, I really think you guys could do a much better job coming up with the verbiage for that, so please don't copy me verbatim, but just so you can get an idea of what it looks like, I had to put something. All right, so now it's gonna show you a little kind of example of what this looks like. Why does that say headline text? Oh, because I didn't change this. Leave a review for Kara. Save and apply. All right, so now it says, leave a review for Kara. Thank you for being a valued client. Please help me continue to do business by leaving me a review. They'll put their first name, last name, address, and client since year. And how would you rate your experience? 5 stars, obviously. And then review, anything you would like potential clients to know. So this, obviously, you can change if you want it to be something else. And then would you recommend, this says Royal Realtors. That was another thing I should have changed for team name. I'm gonna say Kara Collins. Save and apply. Now, the great thing about sending people reviews here is that if they had a bad experience and they want to leave you a bad review, you don't have to display it anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna give myself 5 stars here, obviously. And then would you recommend Kara Collins? Of course. And then you preview the testimonial. So let's go ahead and publish this page. Yes, we want to make this viewable to others. And then we'll edit that URL. Whoops. To review me. Create. So now I'm going to copy this and paste it. And this is what it would look like to my clients. So they could enter their name and address, and then 5 stars. Maybe leave me a little review. And let's see what it looks like. Ta-da! Submit. And that's actually how easy it is to leave yourself a review. If you've got a review from someone on another site, you could put their information on here too. So does anyone have any questions? Yay. Well, you guys have been so great, and I'm excited for next week. We're going to cover the KW app. And if you think of anything else that you'd like for us to cover, we are going to work on making our itinerary for August, where we schedule classes, more command classes, more Tech Thursday classes. So if there's something you want to learn and you haven't learned it yet, then let us know and we'll try to include it.
Yes, yes. And then just a heads up, if any of you are heading over to the contracts class with Lewis and Shay today, that is at 1 p.m. and not 11 a.m. Did you not get that update, Alita? No. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. It is it has been kind of changing week to week. I'm not sure why, but we're going to try and get it back on a 11 a.m. Schedule. So sorry about that inconvenience. But yes, thank you guys all for coming. Next week we're going over consumer app, which I'm really, really excited about. So I hope I see you all next week for Tech Thursdays.
Yay! Thanks,
Everyone
everyone.
have a great Thursday.
Thank you.